Tell us about section-wise strategies a Clat aspirant should follow.
Yeah, so just as I mentioned earlier that the CLAT totally changed after January. It means after December, and in January we had a totally different things. Like it was kind of challenging for me. Uh, like others as well. Like others, I also ranted for a while. Okay, this why this happened to me. Like what wrong we did so that it has to come with us only. So after some time, I just said okay, there won't be any worth if I just do keep on doing this thing, because ultimately what it will do that I would be wasting my time and nothing will come out of it. So I sat down, because there are some examination which follow similar kind of pattern. Like we have GMAT, which also asks like comprehensive based questions. So first of all, I generally do like I used to do in my like 11th in my schooling as well. I used to like go with the teacher's perspective, why they are asking this question and what will happen if basically what I used to do that why this particular section is there in the examination, unless we know the reasoning behind that subject. Because if you see a J examination, they don't put general knowledge. There would be some reasoning that they are following that set of uh, question or those subjects are there in the examination. So I sat down for a day, I analyzed all those things and I made approach, because that was new for everyone. My guess could have been wrong, and but that didn't go in that way. It turned out to be right, and that helped me a lot in my preparation. So there were four subjects which were reading intensive. So I used to follow this magazine thing, because it helped me to complete my GK, as well as it used to help me to understand the perspective how they used to present GK. So it helped me in preparing for other English based subjects like comprehension based subjects, as well as for GK. So I used to give 6 hours of my time, out of which I used to devote most of my time for GK, because that was a section which could be a game changer. Because for English, reasoning, and legal, there would be all the set of facts would be given in the paper itself. And if you have a good hold on subject of English, you would be able to comprehend the passages and find out answers accordingly. So I used to devote around 3 to 4 hours of my preparation on daily basis to GK. And I used to follow like this GMAT Club forum, which I mentioned earlier. That website proved to be very helpful for me. I used to prepare English and critical reasoning from there. And
GMAT plus
there
forum.
is, yeah, GMAT Club forum. And they have a lot of like, they have a plethora of passages available on their website. And the best part is like generally the aspirants faces difficulty with a particular set of passages. Like if a passage is based on economics, because they have jargons, they use jargons in the passages. So sometimes, although we are able to understand the language, like English language, but sometimes when they use, okay, what is depression, what is recession, so sometimes these kind of terms which are like very specific to those fields, they kind of confused if we see it them for the first time. So I used to follow this uh, subject matter specific practice as well, so that I don't see a very random or very new thing in the examination itself. So I followed that thing. So I would say when you're preparing for English, first of all, uh, like try to have the speed of 400 words per minute, 350 or 400 words per minute. And I used to follow, like I used to read questions. Like I tried multiple ways of attempting a question, and finally, which I like in mocks, finally which suited me was to read questions first, get a get a direction from the question itself, because the passage usually ranges from 300 to 400 words. So you shouldn't like by heart the passage, because they're not asking you to by heart or understand everything and repeat for somebody. So what one should do is that they should understand the question, find it out that what the question is asking from them, and then read the passage accordingly. Because if you are blindly reading the questions, you would be wasting your time, because you don't have an idea that what you are eventually going to get in the question. So I used to read the questions, I used to get an idea, and that helped me a lot to save my time and to be like to maintain accuracy in the questions. So this helped me in all the subjects, like in reasoning, in legal, and in English. This also helps you in mathematics in a way that if you see a question and you see that okay, this is this is easy. Like sometimes you just have to find out a percentage. So don't have to complete entire things. You just have to find out a percentage of two things, do the same, and complete your question. I realized one thing when I was preparing for CLAT, that they don't ask you to be very precise, that they don't want that you should attempt 150 questions and maintain accuracy of 150, like 100%. It doesn't work in that way. They just want that you should work in a smart way, and you should be like reasoned enough that you should understand, okay, this question should be attempted and it would give me a positive mark. That you should also like do cost benefit analysis while attempting questions. I won't say that do a complete question based things, but when you attempt mocks on regular basis, it it develops subconsciously, that when you use a question you will figure out, okay, this would be taking this much amount of time and I would be getting the answers in a while. So plan that way. And I focused on this particular approach only. I used to give mocks on regular basis. And something which I did that helped me a lot is 2 hours period practice. I never used to sit in like half an hour practice sessions. I always did this 2 hour practice sessions, and eventually I increased it to 3 hours so that I can maintain this efficiency for the 2 hour duration. Because generally when we give mocks, we are very effective, like we are very good in solving question for the first hour, but as like the time increases we kind of get tired and we're not able to focus in the way that we are able to do in the first hour of the mock. So I used to sit for 3 hours. When I was close to examination, I used to sit for 3 hours so that I can maintain my efficiency for 2 hours at least. And the sectional test also I used to give for 2 hours. And this way only I did my preparation, mocks and regular basis of GK. And one of the magazine which I used to do was from Drishti IS. That was also very good source of for preparing GK, because they don't give you one liners. So they kind of gives a holistic picture of every topic, and they also presented analysis. And like the year 2020, when we had Clat, they asked these type of questions as well, like, okay, what could be the possible reason for this step? Why did this happen? So my preparation from that Drishti Eyes magazine helped me a lot to understand those topics from that perspective, which made me able to answer that questions. And the same is continuing, I would say. So if you want to prepare for a GK, I would say prepare from a magazine, and you have to be smart enough. Everything is not important, because that magazine is designed for the most difficult examination we have in India, that is IS or UPSC. So don't do that. You have to be smart enough to
Identify what
truncate
you need and what
the unnecessary information. Yeah. So be smart and prepare accordingly. And for legal and for critical reasoning, I would say kind of the earlier method which we used to follow, it would be the same, but you have to be more like you have to read more than which you used to do, because earlier the passages were small. Now we have a long passage, and out of which we are asked to like find out 4 or 5 right answers. So the preparation strategy would be same except for GK, and you have to be more you have to spend more time in reading and getting hold of the subject. So that would be the